Okay, take two, take two, take two. Says video starting for like 5 minutes. Oh, we're live. What's up, everybody? Um, okay, I am happy to see all of you. I wanted to come on and like give a little context to anything that you may be seeing. Although I know that the algorithm hides everything from everyone, so maybe you saw nothing at all. And we'll try to follow along. Like, just comment if you're watching this, at any point, and we'll do our best to respond. But the thing is, right, when I lost my job 3 years ago, in that moment, I never once thought, oh, let me go get a physical job. I don't know why. Call it say yes and figure it out in its finest, or a panicked focus. But I knew that we needed money, and we needed money fast, because I was used to living a corporate 6-figure lifestyle and was living paycheck to paycheck. So don't comment me if that sounds like you, but I know I'm not alone. And so if this resonates, just hang tight, hang here. And so what has evolved over the last 3 years is nothing short of absolutely amazing. Like, to say that I would ever have one best-selling book, let alone two, I'm beside myself. I'm so grateful for every community I've put myself in, every course I've bought, every mentor I've locked arms with, every human on this planet that I've met and became BFFs with virtually without ever meeting. It's like, it's so cool to live in this day and age, right? And in order to like scale, in order to go fast, I needed to do a few things. I needed to persistently and consistently show up online. And I needed to put my tail between my legs and reach out for business. I think this is where a lot of people stall. In fact, when I first lost my job, I said to my then mentor, why does sales all of a sudden feel harder? And he said, that's because it means something now. Like, when you're selling for somebody else, you're passionate about it. You take it all personally. Like, your quota is your lifeline. You want your bonus. You want your team to do well. But at the end of the day, when you're selling for yourself, it's all of a sudden different. It's like, I can't afford to eat or keep a roof over my head if I don't make money. And I don't have a guaranteed paycheck coming in if I choose to take a vacation day or my kid is sick. Yesterday, if you're catching this in real time, yesterday we did a podcast watch party for my former client and friend, Leah Owens. And the podcast had been recorded 2 years ago that we just re-released. And sure enough, 3-year-old Jack was sitting on my lap. He looked so sick. And I just remember, like, mommy has to do this thing. And he was sick enough that he could just sit still. Because you guys know, when you have kids, like, even if they're sick, they're not sitting still. So we captured the 20 minutes together of her overcoming her own version of imposter syndrome. And then just yesterday, we reflected on that. And it was so just insightful to see both her and I, and how much we've grown in the past 2 or 3 years, but also really like how, when your back is up against the wall, you are literally willing to do whatever it takes. And that brings me to why Costco. Because living in South Florida, this grocery store named Publix is rumored, well, not rumored, is like a really good place to work if you need a job. Because they do like employee stock, and they're like notorious from promoting from within, and family benefits, and it's kind of like, cool, yeah, if I ever needed a job, I'll go work at Publix. Well, recently I've been doing all of my own grocery shopping to save money instead of relying on Instacart. And as I pull up to Costco every week, the last couple weeks, I'm like, if I ever needed a job, I would come here. I would go to Costco, because I've heard the same things are true about working at Costco. So let me know if you've ever worked at Costco. In fact, I was just telling one of my friends this, and she's like, yeah, her and her husband were talking about that recently. Right? So I just started thinking to myself 4 days ago, I'm like, why didn't I ever get a job? Why didn't I ever go trade time for money? Because I'm not too proud to do it. I actually have a phenomenal work ethic. I was actually really, really, really sad when I lost my job. I truly believed in the language industry. I had already spent 18 years in. I really loved the place I had been now working for 6 years. I really felt they believed in me. They promoted me to, it was either director or VP when I was pregnant. Okay, I think they promoted me to director when I announced my pregnancy, and then VP when I came back from maternity leave. So like, I was in it. I was actually asking my CEO to let me interview for the chief sales officer role, and that is why Be a Better Sales Leader even came to be to begin with, because I was like, okay, let me demonstrate. He said to me, you're not ready. And I said to myself, well, let me demonstrate that I am. Anyway, fast forward. I never would have thought I'm somebody who has 2 best-selling books, speaks on stages all the time, has a year-long mastermind and mentorship training other entrepreneurs and business owners how to make more money. And as I've evolved, as you do, you kind of take a step back. So like, if you're in my orbit, or maybe if you're just catching this for the first time, I encourage you, if nothing else after this, to go on an imagination walk. Now, maybe it's snowing or raining or sleeting where you are, but maybe that imagination walk is just live in your imagination for 20 minutes today after we hang up from here, because you can't work. You literally can't outwork yourself. It's like, if I took a job at Costco, it would be to be like, okay, what's the next move? What's the next move? What's the next move? Maybe I'm going to climb the Costco retail ladder, or maybe I'm going to use the time doing groceries. Like I used to work at Walmart in college, like, right? Interacting with the customers, and also thinking in my head how to move smarter, how to move faster, how to like scale and grow my business. Okay. And that's what I want to inspire you with today, is that like, a lot of times we're scared to put ourselves out there. We're scared to say, I'm pivoting, or oh, I'm innovating, or oh, I'm doing this. Oops, it's freezing. Or oh, I tried this and I failed. But like, failure isn't even possible unless you tried. So our internal beliefs, the things that we think about ourselves, and the external beliefs, there goes Kristin again, launching another business. These things may or may not even be being said, but it's what we believe about ourselves. And then sometimes it is external feedback, like, oh, Kristin's the girl that always posts selfies. Like, I don't even know what that means, but somebody said that to me somebody said that to somebody who said it to me. So like, who even knows if it was true? And it was like 2.5 years ago. And I literally stopped posting on LinkedIn as a result for like a minute and a half. And it's always like, say this, tap your chest and say like, no one else's opinions pay my bills. No one else's opinions pay my bills, right? Until somebody hands me a couple $100,000 to pay off the last hard money loan that's following me around, that I talk about all the time, they don't get an opinion on my life, right? I can choose to do whatever it is I want with this life. And I choose truly, like, I know I have it in me. Somebody tap your chest and say, I know I have it in me. I know I have it in me. And nothing worth having comes without having to fight for it. And so the Costco thing happened, and then 2 days ago, I went to talk to my baby daddy, ex-husband, co-parent. I'm like, your favorite ex-wife is here. And I said, okay, listen, like, I need to close the gap, right, of like where I am now and paying off this debt and scaling. Like, I am ready to do whatever it takes. So put that in the comments. Like, I am ready to do whatever it takes, including getting a job at Costco. Like, I'm not adverse to hard work. I have an incredible work ethic. So I said to him, hit me, give me what you got, because I'm ready to do it. Now, what he said maybe is going to change everything. because if you know anything about me and G, our past, it was created on the back end of always having another business idea. Like, one of the things I used to brag about him was he always has another idea. And like, not in a bad way, but like, he's the guy to go to for ideas. And you might remember, if you've been hanging around these parts for a few months, again, if not for a few years or life, that a couple months ago I was like, oh my gosh, my back's up against the wall again and I don't know what to do, right? Like, I literally don't know what to do. My back's up against the wall. And that resulted in hundreds of people again pouring into my DMs, sliding into my texts, like, I've got you, I'm thinking about you, what about this, what about that? And a lot of people mean well, but you have to like cipher through the information and choose a path. And so I simply decided, okay, I'm not freaking out at this moment in time isn't productive. I'm good. I need to stay the course. One of my last bosses in corporate always said, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. So I poured back into winning my next client, creating LFG 365. These access to that I think is like linked in the comments here. LFG 365 is literally like, is the coolest thing I've ever created. It's daily voice memos and a community to chat around your takeaways or ask questions or share feedback on the daily voice memo. And then we do monthly calls. It's like, actually the only thing I'm thinking of is how do I quadruple the price and add more value? I mean, add more value or triple the price because I'm adding more value, but like, how do I add more value in that? Because I simply believe we'll see a good idea, we'll see a reel we want to model, or we'll see a video. If you're in my inner circle, I just shared a video from Gary Vee and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. So at the end, I'm going to share with you what that thing is. And the reality is most people see something and they intend to do it and they plan to do it, and then they don't decide, take a step, lean in and celebrate. We as a human race, especially the last couple years, but also just inherently since the beginning of time, like, we don't always follow through, or we get in our own way, or somebody says something that stops us in our tracks, or we have imposter syndrome, right? Like, give me an amen in the chat. Like, the reality is we hear something, we see something, and then we fail to take the action. We fail to take the steps. We fail to take enough consistent momentum to actually do something with the thing that we saw. And so LFG 365 is that. It's like my life's mission. And I'm literally in this program that's so stinking affordable, giving it all away for free. And then the thing behind the thing, which my inner circle knows that I'm known for, is then teaching you why I'm giving it all away, because it naturally, the more I can get LFG 365 in the hands of others, the more it brings people into my year-long mastermind. And that's called an ascension model. And that is in every business known to man, including McDonald's. Like, hey, I came for the chicken nuggets, but I might as well stay for the fries and the Coke. But oh, don't you want a flurry with that McFlurry? Or don't you want a double cheeseburger instead of a single? Like, upsells and buying more are in every single business ever created, right? And this is how businesses exist, is sales. And so my skill set, clearly, from having my parents who were both very successful salespeople, my siblings included, my sister is an attorney, for goodness sakes, which is a salesperson, by the way. So my corporate 20-year sales background has set me up wildly for success in all things in life. And one thing is this backdoor passion license I have in real estate. I have actually been a licensed California realtor since 2018. I got licensed right after Gibson was born. And we did a bunch of stuff with it. My ex G and I, we used to do tons of Airbnbs. We did tons of property management. He started renovating houses even as he was getting his contractor's license. I started selling houses. We used it to buy our own houses and sell our own houses. So I've done a lot of things with the real estate license. And even before I was licensed, I was investing in mentorships and masterminds and courses around real estate investing. In fact, the first stage I think I ever spoke on was a Dean Graziosi stage, and I was so scared and so embarrassed that like my bra strap was falling off my shoulder, and the way my shirt was the whole time. There's a video of me talking on the stage somewhere. I mean, obviously Dean has it somewhere. And I used to have pictures of it because my shirt was off my shoulder and my bra was hanging off. And I was so nervous standing on stage that I couldn't even just like fix my shirt. It's like wild to me. But it's not, because stage fright's a real thing. Anyway, so then 6 years later, I got licensed as a realtor, right? But when I said to G 3 days ago, 2.5 days ago, okay, like I need to do something. Like, is it get a job at Costco? What is it? And he's the guy in February when I had that other existential crisis. He said, monetize your sourdough business. Like start selling that bread that everybody loves and use it to find real estate leads. And so you guys might remember that, right? And sure enough, what did I do in order to start selling my bread is I had to operationalize the business. I had to think about the systems. I had to find a way to collect orders. At first it was texts, then it was an Excel spreadsheet, and then it was a platform that doesn't cost other than like a little bit of fee every time you use it, right? It was tethered to my Stripes. I was like, cool. You had to do bread drops. Cool. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I live in a very small space and I got 10 bread orders. Like, how do I produce that? So I literally figured out how to systematize my sourdough business by deciding, taking a step, leaning in and celebrating, using the skill sets of sales, marketing, and operations. Like the 3 ninja skill sets, the trifecta of skill sets that your girl has, from all of the business acumen that I have, all of the credit cards I used to open in the retail shops, just all of the know-how, all of the thing behind the thing that I used to study, the profit margins, the accelerators, the P&Ls. Like I just had so much exposure to so many various facets of an organization. And then I was consulting businesses when I first lost my job, that it took me 3 years, but I realized, oh my gosh, I know how to operationalize businesses, be it my own. We started putting the foundation of my business in place just this year. See, most of us aren't ready to put the foundation in our business until we actually get it into momentum. And then we realize, okay, we can't just keep throwing spaghetti at a wall in hopes that it sticks. We actually have to like systematize processes so that either we're a one-woman show or maybe we have 1.5 VAs to support us, but like that way we can scale. So somebody say scale in the chat. And it literally all comes down to like, are you operationalizing? Do you have systems? Like, do you know what the foundation of your business is? Can it run without you? My business can now run without me. And are you selling and are you marketing? Okay. And so I did that for my own business, and we've done 800,000 in revenue in 3 years, which is incredible. It's like, it blows my mind. A lot of you might know that my goal for 2026 isn't revenue. I'm not tracking when I'll hit my first million in that regard. Now I'm tracking when I'll cash collect my first million. So that's a different benchmark. And in order to do that, I needed to operationalize. I needed to put the systems in place. I needed to put the foundation of my business in place. Then I had a crisis, and my ex-husband said, why not sell sourdough? And he was just like, go sell the dang sourdough. But my brain is like, ooh, wait a second, I need a food license. And like, oh, I need this and I need that. But yeah, it's working. I could drop what do they call it? Like I do a bread drop today. I then renamed it to like say yes to bread. Our principal at our elementary school bought a couple dozen loaves for her PTA board, right? So like the word is spreading, and with every loaf I sell, I give them a real estate flyer. So that's cool. But when I said this to my ex-husband the other day, he's like, okay, cool. Well, the thing that's on my heart right now is building ADUs, so accessory dwelling units, which we know all about. My goodness, he built 2 of them next door where he lives at his parents' house several years ago. He's helped countless others. We've talked about this lot being lot divided and or building. I think you could build almost like 2.5 ADUs on this lot at this point. Definitely one plus a junior. And he's a licensed B contractor who I believe is getting his licensed A contracting certificate license. And he happens to be a realtor who now is also a broker. And luckily, if you saw my post a few days ago, Gibby inherited his excellent testing. So G is an excellent test taker. I am not. I used to always say that I'm not a good test taker, but I'm really good at everything else. I'm really good at other things. And so when I said to him a couple days ago, oh, how do I close the gap? Do I go get a job at Costco? Like, I'm not adverse to working hard. He said, cool, help me in my business. And for 10 years that I've known the man, I've said no. I've said, I'm not your admin. I'm not the systems girl. I'm not going to do the grunt work. And 2 days ago, I said, absolutely yes. I said yes, because I will do whatever it takes. And so you might have been invited to follow the page Backyard Wealth, okay? Because now the thing is, we always were going to hang my real estate license under him as a broker, no matter what. But steps, like the time has to pass, like the things have to happen. Like he literally just got his broker's license end of last year. And so now he needs a place to hang physically the signage so that the board of real estate for California will recognize him as a functioning brokerage. Okay. But with his contracting license, with my sales and marketing and operations background, I know how to systematize his business. And whereas we've always fought about like, well, that's not my job. Like, I'm the talent. He's like, well, I'm the talent, right? Like, I just put everything aside. I said, nope, right now is not about my ego. Right now is about me making money. And we have always said, when I make it, he'll benefit. And he has always said, when he makes it, I'll benefit, because ultimately it does benefit our kids. And so I need to close the gap, forced me to tell the truth to myself. That like, it's not, oh, I need more leads for this business or that business. And it's like not even a strategy problem. It's how do I expand my skill set? Because now I've spent 3 years coaching and helping other coaches, entrepreneurs, and consultants monetize their expertise. And it works. I've proven and they've proven that it works. Write a book, speak on stages, blow up your social proof, be on a podcast, host your own podcast, sell your offer, get your offer into momentum, lean in, keep iterating. Like the goal isn't does it work? The goal is how does it scale, both for them, my clients, and for me. And I realized I was sitting on a level of skill that was completely untapped. It literally is the trifecta of sales, marketing, and operations, right? Because again, before all of this, in 2010, I was in real estate. In 2018, I got my real estate license, and I have personally invested tens of thousands of dollars learning real estate, both in the Dean Graziosi days, and I bought a high ticket course from a real estate trainer, like when I still had a job between having Jack and Gibson. Like I was like, I was always looking for the shortcut. Are you guys like shortcut people like I am? I was like, always like, how do I just fast track this? And the reality is there is no fast way. There is no fast track way to do anything in life. You can't just lose 25 pounds. You have to put in the work. Even if nowadays you go on the GLP-1, you still have to eat the right food. You need to eat the right amount of food, because otherwise if you don't eat the right amount of food, the second you come off the shots, it'll come back on. But I digress, right? And everything in life worth having does require sweat equity and hard work. And that's when I was sitting at his house, it literally clicked, right? So I'm not here to do just one thing, and I know that, but I'm here to build systems that make money, period, right? And so yes, I'm helping coaches and entrepreneurs scale their offers like I always have. In my consulting days, that looked like helping small businesses and corporations. So I am continuing to do all of that. It's offers, systems, sales, and visibility, right? Now, what I get to do is I get to help build and systematize a real estate ADU business from the ground up. and you get to watch in real time and see that the same skill set applies, whether it's a real estate business, a construction business, a sourdough business, a coaching business, an online coaching business. The same skill set, the same systems apply. Different vehicle, same engine. And that's what makes this so exciting to me, because I'm not just teaching it, I'm showing you in multiple industries at the same time how to grow and scale a business, so that A, you could work with me to learn the systems and the sales and the marketing to scale your own business, or B, you can hire me locally to teach for real estate deals. You could hire us for real estate deals and ADU or construction deals, or you could just hire him for construction. The net of it all is like, what if we could grow a brokerage that we then train other agents how to do the same, how to show up online authentically and vulnerably, how to dominate your market, how to get out ahead of the competition, how to differentiate. How are there hundreds of thousands of language service providers, and most people in America don't even know what a language service provider is? How are there all these translation companies out there that exist truly in this multi-billion-dollar industry, yet they continue to exist even though they're selling the same thing? It's literally because people buy from people they know, like, and trust, and who differentiate. That's why there's 8 realtors on any block in any city nationwide, right? Real estate agents, like translation companies, are a dime a dozen. One of the skill sets I have, because I cut my teeth in corporate for 18, 20 years in services, is knowing how to scale and monetize and sell more in the services industry, which is why it is fun for me to do it with sourdough, because it's a product, and with construction because it's an actual product. But nonetheless, services or products, I've got you. If you want to scale your business, if you are a contractor, if you're a real estate professional, or if you're an online coach or anything in between, or a language services provider, and you're like, I got my business to here, I got my business to my first 30K, I got my business to my first 100K, I got my business to my first 4K, and I'm stuck because I can't get out of my own way, because I'm chasing my tail. We were on a call today, me, my team, and my client, my baby daddy ex-husband, talking about the systems that we're already putting in place less than 48 hours after agreeing to work together, because we need to organize contracts. We need to make sure he has a ironclad contract. We need to organize billing. He's sitting on invoices and estimates he needs to send out. That's not a him problem. That's everybody's having that problem. When you're a one-man show, and in that industry, your main job is to go meet people and tour the sites and make sure everything's good. Like, let's say you're a real estate agent, right? And you got to go to the showings, you got to go to the inspections, you got to do all the paperwork, you have to do this, you have to do that. Or a contractor, you got to go walk the jobs, you got to make sure everybody's following protocol, you got to make sure all the trash is being picked up. Like, there's little things that he has to do, but he has to also bill clients, collect money, send out more invoices or estimates so that he can win more jobs, right? And then collect all the testimonials and do all of that. So I am super excited because I'm partnering with him for like the 5th time, right? This is not the first time. We had a business, we had like LLCs, we had all of the things. So right now it's all like separate. We're not rushing to like combine all that, because we don't need to, you know. So he's got Gerardo Gutierrez Construction LLC. I have Kristin Gutierrez LLC, and I'm continuing to show up to help businesses scale with sales, marketing, and operations. And I'm so excited because my real estate license that has more or less been on a shelf collecting dust, I now get to leverage in the best way to build this real estate ADU construction business from the ground up. And so follow along. I can't wait. Here's the thing that I heard, and I'll leave you with this. This is what people hear. Oh, that's a good idea. And then they don't do anything with it, right? So I saw a video from Gary Vee, and he said, if you're looking to do any business, and he said, like, be a hairdresser, be a esthetician, be a landscaper, be a whatever, right? If you're looking to launch a business, he held up his phone and he said, say this. And it's just like a short little script of like, hey, this is something I'm super passionate about and it's been on my heart, or in my case, like I've been licensed since 2018. I'm looking to grow my business. And also in my case, I would say I'm partnering with my ex-husband, G, right, who is a licensed contractor. And our expertise is this, but our expertise is ADUs in Long Beach, but also blah, blah, blah. And I'm not looking for business from you. If you know anybody or can think of people to refer me to, I would be super appreciative. And the script goes on. And it says, I hope this doesn't feel like spam because I'm sending this to, in my case, 1,538 contacts in my phone. No, 1,009 contacts in my phone. So 1,549 people will receive a video message from me between today and the next couple of days, because Gary Vee says if you do it, business will come. And this is the thing. It doesn't matter what his idea is. If you use my 2-step DM framework, business will come. You will also get no's. You will get people to be like, what are you doing? You will get people to like, I don't even know who you are anymore. And part of the script he says is like, I'm sorry if we've never even talked but once. My mission is to send this to every single person in my phone. And that's the reality, right? So if you get a message from me, if you're one of those 1,549 people in my phone, now you'll know why if you also saw this video or heard this clip. But I just want to thank you for being here and listening to all of this and always cheering me on. And I would say for you, it's not always say yes and figure it out. It's not always like, what's the next move? But if you know in your heart of heart, like I know in mine, that I can scale, that I can hit my first million, let alone multiple millions, that the skill set I have in sales, marketing, and operations is absolutely needed by so many more people, then it isn't if, it really is when. And now is my year. So thank you. I hope you, A, got something out of this. I hope you got an actionable strategy that you can implement, especially with this last part with this video. And B, if you just want to drop me some love and cheer me on, I will return the favor in spades because it means the world. So thank you.